Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Gautam's Cooking Adventures. In this episode, we'll take you through the steps to make Dal Chicken curry. A list of ingredients is shown on your screen. As always, you will find a copy of the ingredients list in the description below this video. Please like this channel, subscribe to it, and click on the bell icon to be notified all future episodes. Thank you. Today we're making Dal Chicken, and for that you're going to need one large onion that's been finely sliced. Half of this will be used in the beginning of the cooking and another half towards the end. Some freshly chopped coriander, one large Roma tomato that's been finely diced, 3 green chilies that have been slit, and I use Thai chili usually for this, about 1.5 inches of ginger that has been finely sliced into small bits, and a bunch of dry spices. There's star anise, black cardamom, there's bay leaf, there's a couple of green coriander, there's 4 or 5 cloves, 1.5 inches of cinnamon, and 2 red dried chilies. And apart from that, you're also going to need some garam masala, some chili powder, some turmeric powder, and jeera seeds. You can also use a little bit of jeera powder optionally. You will also require dhania powder or coriander powder. Ideally, fresh coriander seeds that have been freshly ground would be perfect. And about a teaspoon of peppercorns, black peppercorns, and of course salt to taste. You require some Channa Dal, a cup of Channa Dal that's been soaked for at least an hour to hour and a half. So we're going to cook today. Most of the cooking will be done in the Instant Pot. We're making Dal Chicken. To start with, we'll need to add some oil. And this is about 2 tablespoons, 2.5 tablespoons of oil. We'll let this heat up till it becomes nice and hot. I have the Instant Pot in a saute mode right now. It's set at normal strength, and so it defaults to 30-minute cooking time. And I'm going to wait for the oil to heat up. The oil is hot, so to this I'm going to add the following: the 3 sliced green chilies, the 2 bay leaves, star anise, the black cardamom, the 2 green cardamom, the 5 cloves, the cinnamon bark, and a little bit of jeera, and let this come to fry a little bit. Want the jeera to brown just slightly. This is good. It didn't take very long. Now to this I'm going to be adding half of the onions that I've cut earlier. The other half I'll keep to the end. And let the onion cook till it browns nicely, turns a nice golden brown. We'll come back and visit this, but before that I will just add a little bit of salt to start the process of sweating for the onion. And let this cook now. It's been about 7 minutes now since it started the cooking. The onion has started to brown nicely, but I want it browner still, even more golden. Now this is key to making sure that this curry tastes really well, the dal chicken. And so you want this to be brown. It's worth the wait, so that's why I'm starting this to show you midway through the process. We'll wait for some more time and I'll get back to you. I've now reached the level of browning that I wanted. As you can see, it's turned a nice brown. And this is what you want. You want a slightly caramelized onion because it adds to the taste of the dal chicken. Now it's ready for us to add the tomatoes that we have chopped earlier. And let this cook for a bit. As the tomato has started to cook, I'm going to add to this 1 tablespoon full of ginger garlic paste and let that also cook along with the tomato. At this time, I'm also adding about 3/4 of a teaspoon of chili powder and 1 large heaped teaspoon of coriander powder. Mix this together nicely and let them all cook till this boils down into a nice paste, thick paste, and the oil start to separate from the mixture. In order to do this, I'm going to cover this for a little while and allow it to cook. Now check in between to ensure that it is not catching or if there's not enough liquid in the mixture. I have added just a little bit of water, so it ensure that it does not catch and it cooks well. So you might want to check on this in between as it's cooking. It's been about 5.5 minutes since I covered this. I'm going to check on it. As you can see, the tomato is completely broken down. It's become a nice paste, and this is when it's ready now for the next phase, which is adding the chicken to it. I have about 700 grams of chicken that's been cut into bite-sized pieces, both with bones and without bones, and I'm just going to drop all of this into this and mix it well to make sure that the masala completely coats the chicken. I'm just going to give this a couple of minutes for the chicken to imbibe the taste of the masalas. Cooks just a little bit and release some of its liquid from within its meat. And then I will add the soaked dal to this. I'm covering it for the couple of minutes that it's going to cook, just so it maintains the moisture within itself and not lose it. It's been cooking a couple of minutes. I'm going to take the cover off. As you can see, the chicken has started to become a little white and it's cooked a little bit. And now give it a quick stir. And to this I'm going to add the previously soaked dal that's been drained out. As I told you, this dal was soaking for about an hour and a half before I started the cooking. And the reason why the dal is being soaked ahead of time is because dal takes longer to cook if it is just cooked as it is. Chicken takes much lesser time. And since we're cooking them together, by soaking the dal, I'm reducing the cooking time for the dal itself. So now that I've added it to this, I will now add the water from the soaked dal from before. I'm adding into this just to cover the meat, not more than that. And to this I will also be adding some salt to taste. In this case, I'm using about a teaspoon and a half, but you can be careful. You don't have to put too much right now. You can always add later on. Less you put, the better. You don't want to have it too salty, then you can't remove it. At this time, I'm just going to add a little bit of the chopped coriander into it as well. And now I'm going to cover it and cook it. So as you see, as I'm covering it, I've got the pressure mode on, and I'm going to set the Instant Pot first to off from the saute mode, and then I'm going to go to the meat stew mode, and I'm going to set this for about 20 minutes. Actually, even 15 minutes should be fine because we'll probably cook it later on outside as well. And that's it. You will now allow it to cook in this mode till it's ready. We'll come back and visit this again once it's done. But before we close this, I'm going to add some turmeric powder to it, approximately about a half a teaspoon, and mix that into it as well. We've completed the time. I've let the steam out now. I'm going to wait for the steam to complete. We'll open this and then check how the chicken is, and then we'll start the next process. So the steam is all escaped, and I'm going to open this. As you can see, the curry is looking really good. It's got a really nice color to it, and I'm going to shake it around, check on the dal. It's nice and soft. It's cooked really well. Now this is now ready for the next phase. All I need to do now is check for the salt to ensure that I have enough salt in this. That's perfect too. So now we start the next process, which is the completion, the finalization. Now we could continue to do this in the Instant Pot itself. Continue this in the Instant Pot itself, but I prefer to do this externally in another kadai, simply because one of the failings of an Instant Pot is that all the heat is concentrated at the bottom. The sides don't heat up much, and I prefer this to cook from all sides. So for now, I'm going to turn this over and then move it into another kadai. But before we do that, we need to start another process as well. Now in a large kadai, I'm going to take a little oil. It's about 2 tablespoons of oil. And to this, I'm just going to add a little bit of ghee, just to give it that additional flavoring. Now this is ghee that we made at home. You can see my video on how to make ghee in the Instant Pot. And I'm going to make this hot, bring it to a nice hot temperature, and then I'm going to fry the onions to a nice brown crisp. The oil is heated up nicely, and to this I'm going to take the 2 red chilies, break them up, let them cook just a little bit. To this I'm going to add the peppercorn, just a few. This is just to provide a flavoring. Allow the corn to start pop. It takes a couple of minutes for the peppercorn to start popping. It just started, as you can see now. I'm going to add a little bit of the previously chopped ginger to it. Give this a nice mix. And finally, I'm now going to add the leftover onions that I kept aside and cook this till it becomes a nice crisp brown. I want this onion to be fried nicely to a crisp, because this is then going to form the tadka on top. We'll come back and revisit this after a little while. Remember to keep mixing the onion. You want them to cook on all sides. Till they become nice and brown. As you can see now that the onions have fried nicely, they've become crisp. At this point in time, I'm ready to take the onions off the stove and keep them aside. Now in this oil, I'm going to add just a little bit of Kashmiri red chili. Now the Kashmiri red chili does not have much spice in it, but what it does, it imparts a nice red coloration. And I want this to be a part of the dal when I cook it. To this mixture, I'm going to reduce the stove to a medium flame, and I'm now going to add the dal and the chicken that I cooked earlier. Now all I'm really doing is, at this point of time, is I'm going to allow this to cook and reduce it a little bit to remove some of the liquid content, make it a little thicker, and that's really all I'm trying to do at this point of time. Now again, like I said, this is also a good time for you to check the salt content. If everything is okay, then just allow it to cook till it reduces its level. The chicken is cooked well. In fact, it's almost starting to fall off, and this is what you want, because you want the chicken to nicely mix into the dal. You do have pieces by itself, but you will also have some of the chicken falling off of the bone and kind of mixing in, you'll find a little bit of the strands of chicken in it, which is perfect because that's how you want it. This is really a combination, and you want the taste of the chicken throughout the dal. If you didn't have an Instant Pot, you can easily do the same thing that we did on the Instant Pot in a regular pressure cooker, and all you need to do is then just cook it for 2 to 3 whistles and then take it off, and your chicken will be ready. I've reached the level of thickness that I want this at. Now all I'm going to do is add a little more of the remnants of the ginger that I've cut earlier, the thin slice of ginger. This is raw ginger that's going in. It helps to flavor it, and I'll garnish it finally with some of the cut cilantro leaves and complete it with the previously fried onions. Just about a minute before you finish, add just a little bit of garam masala. This is just more of a flavoring than anything else. And let it cook for just a minute and then switch it off. There you go. The dal chicken is ready. You can see there's chicken pieces, there's dal, all of them sticking out. So happy cooking, friends. As you can see, we've now put this into a dish. We've garnished it with some fresh coriander, and it's all ready to be eaten. Happy eating. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. Look forward to any suggestions or comments from you, and please do keep supporting us. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the like button, and do press the bell icon so that you can be notified of all our future episodes. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.